Hi guys, I have taken, you'll see this picture of how it looked this morning, the frost on the garden, and I've waited for that. You can see now that the aster blooms are all looking dark, and with that frost, it is time now. The temperatures had dropped to start. We can now cut back the asters, the garden phlox, and the peonies. And in my garden, because I have rhythm, I like to repeat these same plants in all three sections. This is the best area, I think, to show you how simple it is to clean all of these specimens off this time of year. What I also want to bring to your attention is later, it must have been in June this year, I went through and with my asters and my phlox, I removed a third to a half of these plants to make them stand on their own. Last year, I neglected to do that and I had to tie things up. And if you go in June and cut them back by a third, a half, you will have more blooms. You don't have to stake. They stand upright and they don't flop. And I don't like to see my phlox, my asters flop. The peonies with their nice big heads.
Flop?
The phlox flop.
That's hard to say.
That's hard to say 3 times. Phlox, 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 phlox. Can't do it. Now, I may next year, not necessarily on this clump, but even with your sedums, I have a clump at the far end that they're just laying on the walkway. And I'm going to, I believe, do the same with the sedums. What will happen with the sedums? Instead of these nice big heads, they will branch. I might cut them to half this clump and see how they do. And they'll have a more upright form, smaller heads, but they won't flop. So that's what I'm after. Not so much flopping on my plants. It's just one less job you want to do at any time of year. Now, the easier your garden is, the better it is. The other thing is, repeat what your garden grows best. That's not mine. That came from the woman when I was 28 years old, Mrs. Bly, I think was her name. I know it's her name. That was beside my schoolyard. I'd walk through her gardens, and at 28, I walked through, and she walked me through her garden, and she looked at me. She goes, Teresa, always remember, grow what your garden grows. What doesn't grow, don't fight it, or you won't have fun. And that is true. So that's what I do. I've tried a lot of different varieties of things, and you will too. This garden is 29 years old now, and I'm still trying new things, but grow what your garden grows, and it'll be a joy every day. Even these jobs of making short work of your garden phlox, it's so easy. Use your shears. I did take the time, and I did sharpen my tools before I started. I'll do a video on sharpening tools. And I still like my 8300 better. We were given the Fiskars gave everyone at that wonderful garden show in Mackinac a sharpening tool, which I use on some things, but that 8300 Corona, it really tends to work best. Or it's similar to the type of sharpening tool I use when I sharpen my dental instruments. Whatever. I digress. We're going to get in here. And so with the phlox, you're going to cut them clear to the ground. It just makes such short work.
That's a scary thought. Sharp dental instrument.
I know. You got to, well, it just takes the stress off the hygienist's hands. And you don't want to slip. I mean, it's like a doctor. You want him using a sharp scalpel if he's doing surgery. You don't want him to have to be, ripping and tearing. Anyway, this is a gardening show, not a science and health show. But look how I am so excited to get this done. I have other things I need to do the rest of the season. And with the few weeks of good weather, tomorrow's going to be nice and warm. I need to be outside and get even more ready for winter. So it's going to look so much better. I will go back through here and assess the soil and see if I need to throw any mulch down. We have 2 or 3 bags of mulch that if I think the soil's too exposed, that I will top them off with some mulch. So that is the first bunch of phlox. done.
So now your phlox won't flop.
The phlox won't flop. Reg thinks I'm so funny. So with the peonies, let's do this clump right here because they're easier to see. Get in and do the same thing, clear to the ground. Let's get this hoop. Peony heads are different. They can, you know, those beautiful blooms can get very heavy. And so you have to support their heads when they're in bloom. And I like these nice round hoops. I've had them for years and they work fantastic. Same thing here though. We're going to get in here and cut them to the ground. You know, all these plants are so hardworking, tenacious. They're my perennials. They're made for zone 6, although our winters get to be about a zone 5. We still get very cold winters that last into spring. Go ahead and get these. Anyhow, that's okay. I should have timed myself with this. And now the asters, these might be these are a little woodier. I have my large loppers, but looks like I sharpened these nicely. Yeah, I don't think I can use the loppers, but I think my, I don't know. I sharpened it too. Sharp tools make short work, as long as it's like the same thing. Many hands make short work. Sharp tools. Nothing's worse than a dull knife, whether you're in the garden or cooking. Asters done. They've been beautiful though. It's been a gorgeous fall season. I'm gonna like looking at this. And so there you have it. I'm going to continue on today cleaning up the garden. All I have, these are my asters, peonies, and phlox. I'm going to continue doing the same. I had started, before Reggie started the video, cleaning the morning glories off of the pergola. And I realized I need to get my ladder, and I will get that ladder and finish getting these off of this today too. So I am feeling really good about today. So I do have some videos coming up where I'm going to be planting a few things because we have a couple weeks of nice weather. Perennials that you can buy now if your weather's going to stay above freezing. Get them in the ground. We'll have a couple weeks. I'll do that. I need to get some bulbs in the ground. It's just like spring, except Christmas is coming. So thanks for watching Gardening on the West Fork, and we'll see you in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll see you the next time. Bye.